How do you handicap the Western Conference Finals, Brian?
I don't think anybody can beat the Warriors. Like when Kevin Durant went there, it just messed up everything. And more credit to think of all the things that had to happen, like Klay Thompson and Draymond Green signing for $17-18 million when they're probably more like $30 million players. Steph Curry had the ankle. They had some flexibility with Barnes, who didn't take the extension. So more credit to them. And then the salary cap jumping, whatever it was, like $30 million. And all that stuff had to happen for the Warriors to get Durant, and more power to them for getting him. But at the end of the day, I don't understand how anybody matches up with them. You take Durant off that team, and you start placing him other places. You name a team, Rich. We could say Toronto, and I think Toronto beats Cleveland with Durant. If he was on our team, we'd be a shoo-in to go to the NBA Finals. If he was on Houston, you would say the same thing. But he's on the Warriors, who are already good. So I don't think how anybody has a chance to beat that team. I mean, they are so good. They share the ball. They play very new age basketball. Not a lot of isolations. Not a lot of high pick and rolls. They're more cuts, off the ball movement, and they share they share the ball with each other. To me, they're unstoppable, at least for this year.
But weren't the Rockets essentially built for this series? I mean, Daryl Morey, the general manager, just flat out called it an arms race. It's an arms race. Certainly that Durant stepped up by going to Golden State, and that this is it. This is it. They are built for this series to try and beat Golden State. Yeah.
So, but even if they were, and let's say even if they had the bodies, let's just say they did, their style of play with the Chris Paul isolation, the James Harden isolations late in the clock, that's not going to get it done against the Warriors. It's just not. LeBron James is the best isolation player, arguably the best isolation player in the NBA, gets whatever he wants in the playoffs, and he can't do it. So I don't know how James Harden and Chris Paul think that they're going to be able to do it. If you're going to beat the Warriors, you're going to have to defend at a high level, and you're going to have to share the ball and move bodies. And the Rockets do it to a certain extent with their initial action, but not enough where late in the clock they're going to go ISO on who. You tell me who James Harden is going to have the advantage. It's not Klay Thompson. It's not Draymond Green. It's not Kevin Durant. It's not Iguodala. He's not going to have it he'll score, but he doesn't have a major advantage over any of those guys late in the clock. And then missed shot, there go the Warriors out and running, moving bodies on the defensive end.
How would the Celtics match up?
They've done well against the Warriors because they guard all that off-ball movement. That's why the Philly series was so interesting. And I was just guilty as anybody, falling into the trap. But all the J.J. Redick, the Bellinelli cuts, all that off-the-ball movement stuff, the Celtics, they have unbelievable game plan discipline when they stay with guys. So that's what the Warriors do. And then look at the numbers over the past 4 games, 2 seasons. And that's, with Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant didn't play in some of those. They're 2-2 during that time. But the Warriors the Celtics do a really good job of guarding the Warriors. But once you add in Kevin Durant, it just makes it it's virtually impossible to me to beat that team. But from a matchup standpoint, it would be a fun series. But I do think ultimately, as much as I want to pick the Celtics to beat LeBron, somebody's got to prove to me that he's going to lose. And I don't know if this is the year that we're going to do it.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.